Strymon pedals and how many Kempers and Helixes and drive-ins you got. What's your drive pedal called?
It's called the drive-through.
How many drive-through windows you got? It is something that you carry that God's put on you. And when you operate out of that, it completely changes every other paradigm, because at that point, none of that other stuff really matters.
Yeah.
It means that you're able to bring something, it's like, Brian, what I love about your guitar playing is you are not the most studied guitar player I've ever met. But when you hit the strings, there's something that comes through that's authentic. And it's something that you listen to it and it makes me feel good. And I can't necessarily know why, because I hear lots of guitar players, and I've never dissected it, but you go, there's something on it. And there's something that's on it, you go like, there's an anointing on that. So the idea is if you can figure out how, with the songs, and there are going to be songs that your church does that you don't feel, but it's a matter of just kind of going, what is God giving me on this particular song, and how do I bring that out?
We play the coolest instrument by far. But maybe the drums are belong in that conversation, but we're beating the bass players. The keys,
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't.
All right, you got some sounds.
Shouldn't
in
be
there, but, there's a level of dynamics that the guitar brings to not only the dynamics of the band, but to the arrangement of the song.
Yeah.
One thing I really enjoy is I went through this season at my church where we didn't have that many guitar players, and so for the first time in a long time, I was playing as the only electric guitar player in a fairly stripped down band, like bass, drums, keys, acoustic, and an electric. And that was it. And then
Having
just
nice fun.
fun. It's so fun and freeing, because the question becomes, I'm listening to this record and I'm going, okay, there's a melody here I gotta hit, and here's where we need to come up and be the most dynamic. So I've got to listen to 3 guitar parts and go, what's the most important? In that season, I sort of listened back to some of my playing and I realized, okay, I have a tendency to try to be less rhythmic than I need to be to really build at the big parts. But serving the song is like, man, if it's a good song and the chorus hits, it's like you want to be right there. And then you have all this freedom as the only guitar player to cut all the way out. That's something too. Like, you can fold a hand, you can get out, and that's stay out. Like, not playing is playing, right? Space is a part of it, and then maybe that makes it all the more impactful when what is all the worship songs do, right? We do a little intro. There's something like some nice melody on it. Verse 1, we kind of build, and then boom, we just come down to like 4 on the floor, acoustic guitar at the first chorus, right? And everyone sings through that, right? And the other chorus is going to be bigger, right? It's like, you could let your bass player come out. You could just let him hit the ones. You could let him be super dynamic and stay on the 8s. Just real slight, you know what I mean? He could do that. That's a way you could be creative, right? You could, at the verse 2, jump in and go, it's not really on the record, but I'm going to do a call and response with the melody. There's a spot where the singer sings the phrase and then there's some space. So I'm going to throw something in there, or that's where I'm going to let my new chorus shine. That's where I'm going to let right here at verse 2, I'm going to hit the ones and I'm going to let my tremolo be real choppy, right? Now maybe you're off, but maybe you're not. You know what I mean? You don't have it, maybe it goes through, you know what I mean? Maybe you get it. But those are I think the ways you can make the decision. If there's something on the record that's important, you've got to serve the song. But there's a lot of space you can enjoy. There's a lot of way you can play it where you can be hugely creative. I mentioned before, I really enjoy trying to take effects and go, how can I work this in? How can I play in a double neck, Someone said it was distracting. I go, there's a fog machine behind me. I think it's okay.
That's a good one.
I think it's all right. I was like, I think it's all going to be okay. I think this is cool, man. And then, but then it's just like, hey, I got 2 necks now. I can throw in the 12 string here. It's my octave effect now. Am I going to throw this in to be part of a building part? Am I going to use these extra octaves when we go down and it's all ambient stuff, or Am I gonna do a lead on there? Am I gonna play slide on one? I can tune one to an O, maybe, okay. Now I can play slide on just one part of the song. You know, now I can work in a slide. And it's awesome. You know what I mean? Come on. You know what I mean? The opportunity that we have, I think our instrument's the most fun. Because we get to do all the stuff, and we can start sounding like the keyboards. You know what I mean? We can work in whatever we want to do. And sort of as long as you serve the song and you go, I'm going to do it in a tasteful way, you get away with a lot. And if you can't get away with it, just start pushing the envelope a little bit. Just get a little more modulation in your swell. Just get a little more, try one little thing. And then maybe you do a good job and the worship leader's like, nice. And then you're building trust, right? And eventually, you know.
I think a lot of people struggle with kind of, once I'm this good, then I can be creative, you know. So just kind of, if that's you, just give yourself permission to just have fun with it. You know, I decided this year, going into this year, I was just gonna like, you know, kind of regardless of where I was playing, I realized you don't go to church to have fun, you know, on the worship platform because there's other stuff going on. But the idea is I just wanted to have fun. It allowed me, if I'm thinking like more than any other metric, when I've got the instrument, I want to have fun. It allows me to kind of take a bunch of these self-critique. Oh, I played a wrong note, I played a wrong chord. I'm like, but I'm still having fun. So if that, you know, that's one of my favorite things about Brian Wahl is that worship tutorials has a mission, like a church. You know, this is what we do, this is what we don't do. And you don't do the stuff that you don't do, and you focus on doing the stuff that you do. You know, so for me, it became like, I'm gonna have fun. So whatever maybe that might mean to you, of what if you are struggling with it, like, I don't know, you know, I don't know enough chords. Again, in a practical sense, I said this last, and I'm gonna hand this over to you for a second. If I hit the stage like this with my foot, you can hear just a small amount of reverb in the room. You can hear just a little bit of sound. As I begin to, first of all, that's the tip of my foot. That's the whole foot. The amount of delay and echo that happens in the room, and the difference between that and when I do it with the tip of my foot, is the difference between how much pick I actually put into the strings. So most guitar players hit the strings with the same volume, at the same place. So experiment with moving around on different areas of distance from the bridge, how hard you hit the string, maybe changing the angle of the pick and just kind of go, oh, I've got all these textures. It's kind of go, I want to paint this part a little bit like this when it is dropped out. Is that the part where I get a little more plingy, so I loosen up on the pick and I get a little more fling on the pick, versus when, you know, he talked about the big thing, like I'm a rock guy. So when it goes to the big choruses, I'm down at the bottom of the neck hitting the biggest, he said diamonds, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and you're just making it get big. That dynamic range on the guitar is great. Jim, what you got for us?
Well, I wanted to encourage everyone. What's amazing about our creativity is that God never gave us any limits to how creative we can be.
Come on.
I think one of the things that we can have freedom is we can express God any way we want to with our creativity.